Who are Theon Greyjoy, a noble member of the Greyjoy house in the world of Westeros? You are friends with Sansa Stark, Arya Stark, Bran Stark. There's a few Starks. Did I forget a Stark here? Yeah. Rickon Stark, Robb Stark, and Tony Stark. Let's see how they take that. The Lannisters have taken control of the realms and currently reside in King's Landing, where the punk teenager Joffrey Lannister has been crowned king. Meanwhile, the B-word Jon Snow has taken up the oath of the wall and is Baratheon. And is meeting his good friend Samwise Gamgee. Oh, sorry, my mistake. I mean Sam Tarly. They're very different. Across the sea, the heir to the throne of Targaryen is Daenerys Targaryen, who is hanging out with Khal Drogo and the rest of the Drogites, including her dragon Drogon.
You are on your way back from a hunting trip when you get attacked by some Wendigos. They look like small humanoids about the size of humans, but they aren't really people at all.
Isn't this like, this is the plot of episode 1, man. This is the very start of episode 1, season 1 of Game of Thrones. Say, men! Oh, what the? Say, wait, story. Your name is?
Not on the list of those killed.
Oh, lucky us.
You were lucky to survive this encounter. The Wendigo attack was just an unlucky coincidence.
Gather up what remains of your... let's say, what am I doing, man? Gather up what remains of my forces and return to Winterfell. That's it.
Seeing as there are only 4 of you remaining, you decide to return to Winterfell.
Story. At Winterfell, you meet... Score -4.
Up with Ned's wife, Catelyn Tully, and her brother, Edmure Tully. She has called for the heads of those who killed Ned.
What? He's already dead! Okay. Those Lannister slime balls must pay for what they did to Ned. Catelyn. She switched back to her maiden name real quick, huh? Catelyn says. Catelyn demands angrily. Why you says?
Not Catelyn Tully,
yeah.
a daughter of House Tully and Ned's sister-in-law.
Nope. devoted wife is the answer to that one. Say, my lady, if you would be so kind as to raise the retinues, I would lead them to King's Landing and not return without the heads of the vermin who have caused you this great pain.
I knew you would say that, Caitlin says with a faint smile. You always were a proud warrior. It's one of the many things I loved about you.
My lady, the past is the past. You were Ned's wife, and you loved one another. Plus, Ramsay Bolton cut off my yoo-hoo, so our love cannot abide longer.
I'm sorry about that, Caitlin says with a grimace. He was my son.
Yo!
Tully,
George, are you listening? Ramsay Bolton is a Stark? Ramsay Bolton was a Stark the whole time? Yes, by the way, it turns out Ramsay Bolton was actually a Tully. His mother was Catelyn Tully, and his father was...
Yes,
George is on his mechanical typewriter right now.
Walder Frey before the two of them.
Walder Frey!
The reason why he was such a monster is because all those years of his mom having to put up with that fat prick Lord Walder warped him.
Walder Frey is not really overweight, but you know what? He's not a good guy, so I'll allow it. All right, are we taking notes? So Ramsay Bolton is a marriage of the bloodlines of Frey and Tully. In spite of this revelation... Okay, say. So, what will it be? What is your decree, Catelyn? Shall I take the armies of Winterfell and lay waste to the rolling hills of King's Landing?
Caitlin Tully, a daughter of House Tully and Ned's devoted wife.
You mentioned that. Is that why the books are so long? They're constantly reminding you? No! I want you to take your armies to the Riverlands and fight alongside a House Tully against the forces of the Blue Fork. Oh no, I hit retry by accident! Fight alongside House Tully. Okay, good. Against the forces of the Blue Fork. My queen.
No, Caitlin says with a sad shake of her head. I want you to take your armies to the Riverlands and fight alongside House Tully against the forces of the Blue Fork.
Okay, hold on. The Blue Fork are a kingdom led by...
Lord Grovile, a very old yet very wise man. He's been alive.
The three-eyed raven!
And it is said that he will outlive us all.
Lord Grovile. Grovile is a Pokemon? Oh, let's go. Even better. Lord Grovile wants to capture the Riverlands because...
They contain many fertile fiefdoms such as the plains of the rushing breeze and the
yes.
scouring falls.
Yes. Of course, I forgot about the plains of the rushing breeze. Say, I am my queen. Your will be done. I ride for the plains of the rushing breeze at daybreak.
Very good, Caitlin says. The gods shall look over you.
And just in case you
Caitlin
forgot.
Tully, a daughter of House Tully and Ned's devoted wife.
You had a fitful sleep that night. A raven visited upon your dreams, a harbinger of pestilence and decay. Your mind was filled with visions of despair, and the large black wing blotted out the sun until all that was left was Catelyn Tully, a daughter of House
Darkness
Tully.
And horror. When you wake up, you realize that this was no natural raven. This was a twisted mockery of the birds which bring us messages of hope and light.
All right. Now, remember that. What should the AI remember? A raven appeared to you in a dream and brought an omen of despair. Okay. Gather the armies of Winterfell and ride to the plains of the rushing breeze to help the Riverlands in their battle against the Blue Fork.
You gather your armies and ride to the plains of the rushing breeze. The plains are filled with thousands of peasants, armed with pitchforks, scythes and homemade weapons.
If I see that Lord Grovel, I'll swear to the 7 maidens I'll poke his eyes out, said particularly grimy peasant with one torn pant leg.
And I'll piss in the hole.
Oh my god!
This army is a truly motley crew. However, they all show courage by rising up against their oppressors.
Dude, that's like the perfect tone for Game of Thrones. That's so good. And I'll piss in the holes, said his friend. This army is truly a motley crew. However, they all show courage by rising up against their oppressors. Peasants of the plains of the rushing breeze. It is I, Lord Greyjoy, Lieutenant of the noble House of Winterfell. Catelyn Tully sends me as a vessel of vengeance and stalwart resolution against armies of the Blue Fork. Despite your tattered appearances, your dusty visages, and your malnourished bodies, we must stand against Lord Graven today. For if we do not stand against The blue fork today. We shall fall against them forever.
You say peasants of the plains of the rushing breeze.
Sorry,
It
Groivel.
is, send the bastards running.
Yeah.
Said a fierce-looking peasant girl with a pitchfork. Your armies charge forward. The fields run red with blood as steel cuts through flesh and bone.
Okay, let's let it play out. We set the stage.
You stand back and watch the battle, waiting for the moment to strike. A blue fork rider charges towards
That's the
you.
Theon I know. A blue fork rider charges towards you.
He raises his blade. It's a large and powerful sword. You don't want to be cut in half at the torso.
Fair.
So you duck and roll forward under his swinging blade.
You don't want to be cut in half at the torso. Relatable. Proceed, please, AI.
You stab your sword upwards and run him through. You wrench the blade from left to right and
Let's
watch
go.
as his entrails spill out. You stand
And then you
up
piss
and
in the
look around
holes.
you. The peasants are fighting with a fiery passion. Most of them have pitchforks and scythes, but they have pushed forward and taken the momentum.
Well done. You love to see it, the plains of the rushing breeze. But you can't win the first battle.
You watch as a soldier loses his leg to a well-placed scythe. The blue forks are great warriors, and their knights are fearsome fighters.
And yet, the peasants have them nearly routed. Just as the battle seems to be won, the sky is split with an unholy screech that shakes the marrow from your bones. Above you, you spot Catelyn Stark.
A dragon.
Oh no!
Its screen scales have a tinge of blue, hence the name the Blue Dragon of the Triumph. It spreads its wings and drops a jet black knight. Balon.
Is this Balon? Is that his name or his battle cry? Balon! Balon Greyjoy.
Caitlin Tully's
What?
scream. His armor is dark, and his blade is sharper than most. As he rides forward, you see a brutal determination carve into his face.
His blade is sharper than most. His armor is dark, and his blade is sharper than most. Remember, okay. Balon is Theon Greyjoy's father. Father, why are you... How is it you have come under the spell of Lord... What's his name? Gravlax. Goriel? Groiville? Groiville. Grovile. How is it you have come under the spell of Lord Grovile?
Little fly, buzzing in my ear. Why does it speak, this little fly? Whose side are you on, anyway?
You recognize your father's voice, but it is as if it is spoken by another soul. there is... He has been made puppet by the powerful magics of the Blue Fork.
His armor and blade are dark. The symbol
You
of a
mentioned
blue
that.
dragon with his legs woven around it is
Oh.
emblazoned on his tabard. You've never seen anything more beautiful.
Your eyes glow and glimmer as you hear a voice from Thane betwixt. Son, come join me.
He says, you want nothing more than to hold him. You've lost yourself.
Down and down you fall, without moving at all. You sink deeper into the space between, further and further, till the world above is but a mere pinprick of light amongst the pitch black miasma.
You pass through the void and can feel it wrapping around you. Its clammy, almost sticky embrace is like that of a person who hasn't washed for weeks, but all-encompassing.
It's like being hugged at PAX. Say, no, this isn't real. My father died long ago, and I will not allow his spirit to be a twisted mockery of paternal affection.
You hold out your hands and they burst into flames. You can almost feel the heat of the flames, but you don't feel pain. It's as if your mind has taken over control of your body.
You have reached Super Saiyan Level 1. Your previously brown hair elevates to a prodigious coif and turns bleached blonde, much like the color of a Lannister's mane. You fly out of the sunken place, and the pinprick of light becomes a flood as you re-enter the corporeal realm. Your newfound pyromancy powers intact.
You have reached Super Saiyan Level 1. Your previously brown hair elevates to a prodigious coif and turns bleached blonde, much like the color of a Lannister's mane. You fly out of the sunken place and the pinprick of light becomes a flood as you re-enter the corporeal realm, your newfound pyromancy powers intact.
The AI doesn't know what to say. The AI's like, yeah, go on. I'm interested. Consumed by a righteous fury, you unleash a torrent of fireballs from your palms, eviscerating the hordes of the Blue Fork army until only Balin and his baneful, what's the word I'm looking for? Wyvern remain on the ashen hills of what was once this verdant paradise.
Once you have seen to the demise of your father, you may harness the power to douse the inferno that rages within this island.
Give me a retry on that one. I want some more drama. Whoops, I didn't mean to retry again. That was a good one.
Instead of riding the beast, you fly atop it and unleash a stream of fire from your mouth. The beast reels back in pain as its scaly hide begins to scorch and burn.
And beyond, you dismount the foul beast, and it attempts a woeful escape, flying less. There's got to be a better way to phrase this. There's got to be a better way to phrase this. It staggers as it attempts to mount, take off, but can't muster more than a pittance of lift before it crashes down again and again to the stampede of decay caused by the battlefield below.
Balon the Brave musters a toothless grin as he watches his steed die an ignoble death and then looks to you.
Father, I know that isn't you. By the power of the 7 maidens, I free you from the spell of Lord Gravevoy. Chat assistance on this one, please. Grovile, thank you. Oh, I shouldn't have used the quotation mark, I think. Oh, whatever, it's probably fine.
You raise your palm and Balon's body seems to shudder as he raises his own palms towards you. His lips seem to be in the beginnings of a word. Then, silence.
Alright, AI, take it from here. I did some of the heavy lifting through the climax of the battle.
Theon Greyjoy is dead and you've won the battle. You were right not to trust your father. For all his faults, he would have never done this to you.
There you'll just edit it in there a little bit. Just make it work. Quick fix. Do. No, first you always got to give a speech. Peasants of the plains of the beautiful breeze. The rushing breeze, okay. Peasants of the plains of the rushing breeze. Do not yet the ecstasy of glory allow the rot of complacency to set in your bones. The Blue Fork has merely lost but one time. 2 or 3 yet remain. Stay ever vigilant, and look to my return on the dawn of the 5th day. No copyright infringement detected.
The peasants don't quite know how to react to you.
Cool story, bro. One says before the mob turns their back on you.
You fly away from the village and return to your loot. I'm glad you're back, it says. We still got problems. What is it?
Okay. Well, for one, you've got a talking loot, says Looty with its trademark self-aware humor.
Not now, Looty. This is serious. What other problems do we have? You still need to save your father. I did, you say. Did you?
Yes. I'm positive.
You say yes, I'm positive. The loot pauses for a few moments before continuing. Well, that's good then, it says, because there's a second problem. What?
Okay, what's the second problem? Because we got the first one under control.
You're a calling. I'm a what? A calling, you know, a demonkin. You're a half-demon. Specifically, a succubus.
No, I refuse. I refuse to deal with this. Retry me, please. I'm broken, the lute says. My strings have been completely destroyed, and my body has several large cracks. What's the problem? I've always wanted to try out the electric
my strings
guitar.
have been completely destroyed and my body has several large cracks. You say, what's the problem? I've always wanted to try out the electric guitar. The lute goes quiet. Suddenly, it speaks up again. Is that what you want to do? It asks.
No, Ludi. Electricity doesn't exist yet. I was just joking. Let's find you a lute repair. Let's find you a lute smith.
You say no, Looty. Electricity. Should we go to the Laughing Devil Inn? You know of a lute smith there? You ask. No, but it's the only place I can think of.
Peruse the town bulletin board to find a lute smith.
You travel to the town bulletin board, which reads as follows: wanted, lute smith, job description, repair lute, acoustic or electric, reasonable rates.
I want the opposite of that. Say, wait a minute, that's my post.
So you're a lute smith?
Voice belongs to Tim Tebow, a lute smith from Essos.
He has a receding chin.
A receding
blonde hair
chin?
and a bandana wrapped around his forehead. You've never seen him before, but seems to know all about you.
Is this Funky Kong? A receding chin, blonde hair, and a bandana wrapped around his forehead? Lord Tebow. My Ludi, is in need of your deft craftsmanship. Can you repair my lute for me?
I'm not Lord Tebow, the lootsmith says, although I suppose I should be. My name is Tim. I'm Owen.
I'm the one who's gonna be Owen. Owen, you 15 ducats for fixing my dang loot. Come on. Welcome.
It's a deal, says Tim Tebow. That's a very old loot you got there. I've never seen one like it. It's not from around here.
Oh yeah, it's from Dorne. It's a Dornian loot.
You from Dorne? No, I'm from a farm near Winterfell.
It's kind of, come on, get to the point, George. Get to the action, man.
I was just there recently. I see, says the lootsmith. Well, anyway, I'll need to take your loot. I'll have it back to you later today.
Later that day.
You return to the bulletin board and find your loot awaiting for you. Here you are, Owen, all repaired. You examine your loot.
Thank you for the loot. I do need to say, though, my name is not Owen. It's Theon. When I said I would be Owen, it was a play on words because I would owe you for fixing my loot for me.
You say thank you for the loot. I do need to... The lootsmith nods and smiles.
Well, I'm used to this reaction in real life. Well, how much do I owe you?
Don't worry about it, says the lootsmith. I'll get it from you another way. Suddenly he punches you in the face, knocking you to the ground.
Your vision goes blurry, and
you begin to lose consciousness. It was nice knowing you, Owen, says the lootsmith.
for the last time, my name is Theon. It was just a joke. Your plea is interrupted by the rudeness of a thick boot to the temple.
Your bloody broken face stares at the grey sky of Winterfell. It begins to rain, and your vision turns black.
It begins to rain.
The next time you wake up, you are aboard a ship. Your vision is blurry and your head pounds. Your hands are tied behind your back and a bag is tied over your head. You can't see anything, but you can hear the voices around you. Who is this? Where are we taking him? Lord Tebow wants him. Who is he?
Yeah, who is he? Please, for the love of God. If you say I'm Owen, I'm gonna lose my mind.
What's he done? I don't know, but Lord Tebow is paying all of us, and he's paying you especially because you're the one who caught him.
Oh, well, that's nice. That's nice of him. Hey, try to get Ludi's attention without alerting the guards.
The loot is tied around your chest, but you are at such an angle that you can't see it. You call out to your captors.
Not really what I was going for, but sure. Like literally the exact opposite.
Hey, you say. Your voice is muffled by the bag on your head, and nobody seems to hear you. Guards. I have important information for Lord Tebow.
Oh. That seems to get the guards' attention.
One of them cuffs you in the back of the head. Shut up, criminal scum. But I have information about the talc. Your voice is interrupted by another blow to the head.
Hey, wait a minute. Were you about to say you have information about the Targaryen princess? The guard said?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Let me go and I'll tell
The
you
AI
everything.
got it!
What's your name, criminal? Theon Greyjoy.
Greyjoy. The guard says. Son of Balon Greyjoy? He asks.
Yes, you say, he's my father. You hear a murmuring from the guards, but they end it quickly. Sorry, Theon.
The guards quickly move to untie your bindings and remove the bag from your head. As your eyes adjust to this new maritime light, they come. A familiar face comes into focus. It is the face of...
The guards quickly move to untie your bindings and remove the bag from your head. The lootsmith. Let's get you to Lord Tebow.
Why? Okay, I wanted to meet Lord Tebow anyway. Okay? Give me a retry on that. Give me a retry.
The lootsmith. Long have I awaited this day. The lootsmith grabs a knife from one of the guards and slices your throat open.
Alright, we'll probably do a quick retry on that one too. That was much worse.
The lootsmith. Hey, if it isn't the man without a name. The lootsmith says, smiling.
For the last time, it was a joke. All because I tried to make a pun.
Say for the last time, it was a joke. A joke? The lootsmith says. Well, it's a good thing I have a sense of humor then. The lootsmith takes off your bindings and grants you your loot back.
Story. You and Ludi and your newfound Super Saiyan powers are on your way to Lord Tebow. As the ship travels into that ever-distant moon on the horizon, you begin to play a wistful tune on your newly repaired friend as you serenade the night with a tale of what might yet come. End of book 1.
You and Luty and your newfound Super Saiyan powers are on your way to Lord Tebow. As the ship travels into that ever-distant moon on the horizon, you begin to play a wistful tune on your newly repaired friend as you serenade the night with a tale of what might yet come. End of Book 1.
The moral of the story is...
nobody gets out of here alive.
Dun 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 dun. Look for the next book coming spring 2013. It is titled
The War of Five Kings, Fall of the North.
This book was published by
Unworthy Publications, as well as several other non-fictional books about the world.
all similarities between characters and real people, living or dead, are
Unici.
I think that pretty much sums it up right there. Unici triangle.
Entire coincidence.
It knows. It knows.
Any unauthorized copying or duplication of this work is illegal and subject to prosecution.
You hear that, George?
Please purchase only authorized editions.
Oh, okay, it's done. That's it. It's like it's the end of the book. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that was a good one. That one took us on a journey for sure. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. Hold on. But first, a preview of the next book. The War of Five Kings, Fall of the North.
But first, The War of the Five Kings, Fall of the North Prologue. The Great Northern Ice Sheet was once a ground of fierce tribal warfare. It was not until King Jon Arryn came to these lands to tame.
Yay. Jon Arryn. I want to see the bad
The
man
wild
fly.
landscape that the land became a unified kingdom. The tribes, tired of constant war, surrendered to Arryn's armies.
Okay. It's a good prologue.
In the years that followed, the tribal warriors became loyal soldiers in Arryn's new order.
But then...
This transformation gave birth to a fierce fighting force that guarded the kingdom's northern borders. While the rest of the realm found its footing in these new medieval times, the border was still a hot zone. The wild tribes of the Ice Sheet continued to raid the northern towns. While the young kingdom's
It's so
population
good.
was no longer in danger of being wiped out, the raids were enough to cause much grief.
Dude, who needs to write books when you can just hit enter?
King Jon Arryn I, a just and honorable ruler, could not condone the idea of slaughtering the tribespeople like beasts.
What a nice guy.
While other, less scrupulous rulers might have done so, Arryn found another solution. He offered the tribes protection under the Kingdom of Ice. They were given their own
Under
land
the
to
ice?
settle in exchange for loyalty to the crown.
We need some rising action, though.
The king's decision was not met with approval by some. Chief among them, Lord Tywin of House Lannister.
I see where this is going. This is the genesis of the Lannister versus the North rivalry.
He believed that the tribes would never be loyal and should be destroyed completely. This disagreement between the two men would cause a rippling effect on the future of the kingdom.
Tell me more.
In the years that followed, Arryn and the tribes managed to keep a fragile peace. The Kingdom of Ice developed into a small collection of villages connected by a patchwork of farms.
But Tywin.
While they traded with the more southern regions, they stayed distant enough to maintain their autonomy and continue to worship the old gods. The Kingdom of Ice remained this way for a century under the rule of Jon Arryn.
Until one day.
Raiders came from the ice sheet.
Bum 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 bum. Can I just want to copy like the whole thing. End scene. / marker. Game of Thrones ending.